Hey everybody, how's everybody doing tonight? Hopefully everybody's doing good. Well, I have been working on a video talking about how I believe skill systems are better than class systems in RPGs. What I don't like about class systems like D&D is that they use cookie cutter professions or classes. They have 20 levels and they tell you at what level you gain a skill or an ability, and there's no deviation from it. And so then all of the rangers that use this particular system, they advance at the same levels, at the same skills. It's boring as hell. Whereas a skill system, they have a large array of skills that you can use and buy starting at first level, which means that every ranger is unique because each ranger, has different stats, and so they have different levels of development points to use to buy skills. And so I believe that a skill-based system like Rolemaster is better than D&D and all the other pathetic clones out there. But Bob World Builder did a video today, and I watched most of it, and I did watch it all eventually, and I thought it was a horrible video. Bob wanted to talk about the problems that he had with the new Ranger and the old Ranger, and he was saying that they need all these modifications to it. And the funny thing is, he made my point on the advantages of a skill-based game. He's not going to like that, but that's what he did. So let's watch a video by Bob, and we're going to go through it. Only did a small section, don't want to do the copyright crap.
As we start roasting some Ranger mechanics from D&D and other RPGs, let's remember what we've talked about. The Ranger is a master of survival in any environment. They are swift, they are stealthy, and unhindered by any terrain, including climbing and swimming. They can track anything, anywhere. They can forage anywhere. Maybe you got some herbalism going on, and a monster companion, or at least being able to recall information and communicate with a wide variety of creatures. And as we go...
One of the problems I had with this is, this is the list that Bob wants the Rangers to have. But he kept on saying any environment, any animal, any this, any of that. And I don't think that's realistic. It's like he wants the Ranger to be played at novice level. They are automatically able to do all these skills. There's no challenge. There's no excitement about it.
Please tell me in the comments what you like and what you don't. Then remember to give this video a thumbs up if you're liking any of these ideas. D&D 5e 2014 Ranger. Favorite enemy? Good idea, but too limiting. The Ranger should be able to track anything, anywhere, and...
No. This is what I was talking about when he's saying, anywhere, and I was talking how he wants a novice. A Ranger should develop his skills based on the environment that he works in, the environment that he's based in. So if you had a Ranger in a forested area, if it's a temperate forest, then all temperate forests he should do very well in. But what if it's not a temperate forest? Should he automatically be able to do everything in that too? I don't believe so.
And have at least some minimal communication with a wide variety of creatures. The good part of this is having a little extra knowledge about a specific type of creature, but more creatures would be better. Natural explorer, good idea, but too limiting. All terrain should be the Ranger's favorite terrain. And
all terrain should be the Ranger's favorite terrain. Wrong. The reason why I'm saying this wrong, I put this story in my head. So the PC that you're running is a Ranger. He is stationed and using real world events, real world locations. He is in the Amazon. He is operating in this one part of the Amazon, and these hunters came through and they did some prize hunting, and they killed a couple of animals that they should not have. Okay. And then they left. They got what they wanted and they left. And so the ranger is going to go after them, right? To make them face the justice for the wrongs that they've committed. But this pack of hunters is from British Columbia during the wintertime. Okay? So he gets on this boat. He goes up there, and he is in a completely different environment because he is used to the tropical forests of the Amazon, and now he is in the cold wooded forest, deciduous forest, if I remember right, and there's snow on the ground. Okay, he's never seen snow before in his fucking life. He has never been up in this area. The ranger should be at a major disadvantage. How, if he's never stepped in snow before, how is he going to navigate through snow easily? Better than everybody else. It's not possible. Okay? So you have to devote development points for each environment that the ranger is going to be working in for the game. So this ranger, like I said, he was in Amazon, so he's used to rainforest. And they have like a grasslands around rainforest, so he could develop some skills in grasslands. Maybe if he goes around in that particular continent, he might run into a desert, so he could develop some skills in that one. But to automatically say that he should do any environment, I think is ludicrous, and not in the good way.
When it comes to movement, stealth, navigation, foraging, tracking, etc., fighting style is kind of irrelevant to the core concepts of the ranger, but sure, it's a fun addition.
Wrong. There's more than one form of ranger in the world, and we're going to get into that later on. But I want you to remember, he said that fighting is an irrelevancy, basically, for the ranger.
And spellcasting is where we start to go off the rails, because this is a whole branch of the ranger's features that is, at best, an easy way to hand wave all the cool things a ranger should be good at, and at worst, a total distraction from all the cool things a ranger should be good at.
Okay. I disagree with Bob on this because rangers do need spells, because they are sometimes going up against magical creatures. And we'll get into that as well.
I'm not really a fan of it. Some spells, sure, but even this feels like too many to me. The subclass Beastmaster also feels like a good idea. That's too limited. I think that all rangers should have a badass companion to do.
All rangers should have a badass companion. Okay, well, if you want your ranger to go into different environments and all that, you can't have a specific creature that goes with you to all environments. Because, yes, I know Hannibal was able to take elephants through the Alps and attack the Roman Empire, but some animals can't handle the cold. If you take them into the cold, you will kill them. Okay? And what if you don't want an animal? And it's just, he is pushing his beliefs on everybody else. And if he wants to do that in his game, that's fine. He can do whatever he wants. And you can do whatever you want to do in your game. But don't feel pressured where you have to have some big creature as your sidekick for your PC.
Combo moves with and communicate simple ideas with. Subclass Hunter feels more like fighter maneuvers than ranger maneuvers to me. Primeval Awareness, though, is interesting. Being able to sense the presence of certain creatures in their surroundings is absolutely on the right track, but I'm still not sure about the best way to implement this kind of thing. Extra attack? Sure. Landstride is amazing, but instead of level 8, Ranger should be able to move through any environment swiftly at level 1 or sooner.
And there it goes. He emits the air with simple, crispy games that use the prefabbed professions like D&D. He did not like that this skill is learned at level 8. He wishes that they should that they do it all in level 1. Well, to do that, you need a skill-based system.
After hide in plain sight, again, they should be able to camouflage themselves in any environment around level 1. Definitely not level 10 when barely anyone even plays the game, which is also...
Alright. Camouflage anywhere. I have problems. He uses that word too much. Any of this and any of that. You have to be trained in the environment and you know what you got to be going against. So if you're in a new environment and you don't know the creatures around you, it might be very hard, almost impossible, to hide from some of them. And then if you go up against a magical creature, you're screwed.
Why, we're going to cut that off right there. Next, D&D 5e 2024 Ranger. Let's see what changed. Spellcasting is the first feature, so kind of off to a bad start for all the same reasons that spellcasting didn't make much sense 10 years ago. It's hand-waving the cool stuff they should be able to do, or replacing the cool stuff they should be able to do. Favorite enemy, significant improvement. This builds in Hunter's Mark, which we talked about, and I love it. Weapon mastery, again, feels kind of irrelevant, but it's a fine addition. Death Explorer.
Oh yeah, he does not understand that Rangers are also a military force. But like I said, we're going to get into that.
Explorer, though. This gives the Ranger more languages, which works with the idea of communicating with more creatures. But for a feature called Death Explorer, this trait was kind of misleading and disappointing to me. Fighting style, still irrelevant, but still fun. Subclass Beastmaster, still a great idea, but still think every Ranger should have a companion. Subclass Fey Wanderer feels completely off the mark to me. This lets the Ranger deal psychic damage, cast more spells, and improve their charisma checks. So that last one is in the ballpark of being better at communicating with a wide variety of creatures, but it all feels way more like they want this to be a bard, not a Ranger. I don't get it. Gloomsucker. This is really cool, but it does feel a lot more like a rogue assassin than a Ranger. And Hunter, this builds on the Ranger's Hunter mark and gives them more knowledge about other creatures, so this is actually very nice. Extra attack is the same. Roving makes them faster while swimming and climbing, which is spot on for the Ranger. But I do feel like it should come at level 1 or 2, not level 6. Expertise makes them better at a few skills. Sure. And Tireless makes it harder for them to gain exhaustion and gives them extra hit points. Again, cool ideas, but unfortunately, almost no one will experience them because they happen. As we start...
Oops. Hit the wrong button too quickly. Alright, so he does not understand what a Ranger is. So let's go into the word Ranger. Okay, we're talking about the origins of the word Ranger. Okay, the word Ranger is an occupational name for a warden or gamekeeper that comes from Middle English word Ranger, which means gamekeeper or warden. Duh. This word is derived from the word range, noun, which means to arrange or dispose. The oldest known use of the word ranger is from the Middle English period, blah, blah, blah. So here is one definition of ranger that basically means warden. He is in the woods. He is taking care of the woods. So if you want a PC class profession that is so darn awesome in the woods, here you go. Here is a version of Ranger for you. But there's more. The term Ranger has multiple origins that has been used in North America since the 17th century. The earliest known use of the noun Ranger is from 1485 during the Middle English period. It is derived from the verb range. Okay. But the very bottom group, the set there, is the most important one. French and Indian War. The British formed special units of woodsmen and marksmen to scout, screen, and harass the enemy's forces in the forest. To harass means to attack. They were stealthy. They went in, they attacked, they got the heck out of Dodge. Okay? You know, the U.S. has special forces called Rangers for a reason. They are close combat specialists. Okay? And so here is another grouping of Rangers. And I believe the problem here is that whoever was creating the D&D classes at that time, they looked at, well, the Ranger should be more of a warden. No, then the next edition, no, they're more military. Back and forth, they blurred the lines. And I think that's one of the reasons why the D&D and the clone class of Ranger sucks. Okay? Because it's too much in one class profession, and it just makes it crappy. Okay? So, Bob was talking about how magic sucks for the Ranger, and I think he is completely off on that. He's basically saying, the Rangers should be able to have these skills naturally, and they should be able to be fast, sneaky, and hide from everything. Anything. I should quote him better. The problem with that is we're in a fantasy game, and there's going to be creatures that have extremely high skills and abilities. Because, let's say your Ranger is out and he is looking for what's causing the damage, and he comes up against this. You're of course going, crap. Do you think that Ranger, being a human, is going to be able to outrun a flying dragon? That dragon could have X-ray vision. So do you think the Ranger could go hide behind some bushes? No. Dragons have heightened senses, like the sense of smell. He could probably smell the PCs from a mile or 2 miles away. Okay? Just think about The Hobbit, where Bilbo was in that cave talking to Smaug, and Smaug said he could smell him. Well, sometimes you need magic to protect your ass when you are going against magical creatures. It's a spell off from Rolemaster. Rolemaster is a game that I have played for many, many, many years. A couple of decades, actually. And one of the professions is Ranger, and they have 6 base lists. First one is called Inner Walls. Inner Walls is your ability to resist the elements, the world around you. There's heat resistance, cold resistance, sterilization. You can bless an area. There's prayer, protection from the elements. So you want your Ranger to be able to go in anywhere. Well, he needs protection. And if you're going into certain areas, you need a little bit more, because what if this was an ice strike? You need protection from the cold, extra protection from the cold. There's a spell for it. It does not take away from the abilities of the Ranger. It's because the environment is demanding more. Next spell list is called Moving Ways. This is about going further, easier. Some of the spells on this list are called rock running, limb walking, swimming, water walking, sand running, and it just makes it easier for that Ranger to go from point A to point B. Okay, because sometimes you need all the help you can get. Next spell list is Nature's Guises, and this is about hiding. Okay, well, sometimes you need a lot more than just a duck behind some bushes, right? Like I said, you have a dragon with heightened senses, and so you need to be able to change your hue to blend in better. Let's say you're going to just happen to hide behind some trolls. But there is, you study the form of certain items, and you can take the form of a tree. Or maybe you can get some animal thoughts, so you know how animals think, how they would react. And you do that to study it, so you can take an animal form. Okay? So this, I don't think, takes away from the Ranger. I think this adds to it, because then they could hide kind of in plain sight, saying that, you know, now I look like a bear because I've taken the form of a bear. And I think that is pretty awesome. Next spell list is Nature Summons. This spell list is about getting resources and survival. You can summon nourishment, warmth, guidance, a guardian, a mount. So let's say you're on your hard times. And in Bob's video, he talked about how the ranger is a survivalist. They can get anything and everything. They know a way. Well, here is a spell that helps. It does not take away from the ranger. Okay? It shows their ability to face adversity. So you cast a spell, summon nourishment. An animal will arrive bearing some form of nourishment for the caster. This may take the form of berries, nuts, or tubers. Always some form of vegetable matter. The animal will drop the food and return to the wilderness. Wow. Okay, you want the rangers to be experts outside? Well, here it is. Doesn't take away from the ranger, Bob. Then we got Nature's Way. This is about trap detecting, finding water, starting fire, basic survivals. You know, this is what we want to have for the ranger because they are going to be facing adverse situations. And the last one is Path Mastery. Okay? So they are facing a fork in the road. Which route do they take? Well, here's a spell to help out. Okay? You want the level 10 spell here is Animal Tongues. Allows caster to understand and speak the language of any one animal species. In his video, Bob talked about how, you know, the ranger should be able to talk to animals. Well, here's a spell that doesn't. It is a good part of the profession class. Okay? So, I just don't think Bob understands the blurred lines of a ranger. The spells are a part of it. So, how did I fix this for my game? There are two possibilities of a ranger. Depends what definition you want. The first one that we went through, it talked about it being a warden. So that's what I did. I created the warden profession. This is a semi-spell user, which means they have 6 spell lists, and they will use some of the spells that I just mentioned here from spell law. The other profession is called the ranger. Now, because I have a more military mind, the military aspects of the rangers, such as what they had in that document, where they had these woodsmen, marksmen, going up against the French and Indians in the French-Indian War. Okay, they were meant to harass. Thus, they have to have a combat aspect. One of the very aspects that Bob was shunning, saying that this is an irrelevancy, is relevant. If you are wanting something to be stealthy and do these hit and run harassment campaigns, they need these skills. And so my version is the ranger is special forces. It is a variant of the warrior, but they have a few more nature skills in their agenda, in their background. And so I think that is what makes the crunchy games better than the crispy games. You see, one of the problems that I have with...
As we start
Whoops,
roasting
wrong
some
one.
Ranger mechanics from D&D and...
Oh, shut up, Bob. And that is this right here. This is my sheet. This is what I created for my game. It is a profession description sheet. It has the costs. It would have the cost for every skill for that particular profession. So if I was to have this out, it would be, first you'd say what the profession is, ranger, description, special forces that works in skirmishing and harassing the enemy, or aggressors, you should say. Base lists, this is a semi-spell user, so it would have 6 base lists. Level bonuses, you can see right here the categories that I have for skills. And so a ranger, in my term, would have, I believe it's a +2 for athletic, +2 for combat, +2 for subterfuge, +1 for outdoor, +1 for medical, +2 for survival, and +1 for deadly. For Rolemaster and the game that I'm working on, level bonuses are from 1 to 3. Basically, for every level the character is, they would get a plus from a 1 to a 3 plus on their skill. So here we go. We got the academic. You can see that we got a lot of different areas. These are for thinking, professions. But there are usually 1 or 2 skills in the academic that the other professions would need to know. General. This is your hands-on building. It's not into a specific category, so it's just general. So we can sew, boat pilot, be a boat pilot, mechanics, smithing, cooking, playing instruments, hunting, brewing, and fishing. I think those are important too. You see, in a skill-based profession, it is important that the character develops other skills, not just a weapon skill. They need to have other skills. Because in like Rolemaster, if you have to do a skill and you have no skill rank development in it whatsoever, you are automatically at a -25. So then if you are somebody, let's say you're a sage and you are wanting to do some blacksmith work. You've never done it before. So you are automatically at a -25. You're probably going to fail. But if you get 1 skill rank, you are at least a +5. Combat, very simple. There's some specialized maneuvers that involved, but it's usually you just go by what weapon. Got magical, subterfuge. Okay, we're talking about a ranger. So a ranger would need to be able to use camouflage, hide item, stock hide, disarm a trap, maybe pick a pocket every once in a while, and trap building. Okay, so in Rolemaster and in the game that I am developing here, we give everything a skill cost. The skills that I just mentioned for a ranger would be cheaper compared to skills like sleight of hand. Okay? Then we got to our outdoor skills right there. Okay, well, we know that the ranger's got to be good there. He needs to have flora and fauna lore so that he knows what animals are and what plants he can eat. Bob was making the comment that the ranger should be able to go climb cliffs and all that. There's scaling right there. He thinks that the ranger should have a companion, beast mastery. They need to go through the woods and all that, hiking skill. Okay, so we have skills there that a ranger can get at a cheaper price and specialize in. They might need to have some forestry skills, caving. Okay, sometimes they got to go into a cave to hide or to forage. Well, there it is. A ranger is not really good in social skills, because they're out in the woods more. And so their cost for social development is going to be a little bit higher compared to other professions. Now, a ranger, because they are out sometimes on their own, they should know a little first aid, maybe some second aid. And so these are medical skills, and some of them they should know. Because like Bob says that a ranger should have some herb skills. Well, you need to know herb lore and how to prepare it. All right. Survival. Bob says that a ranger should be a master survivalist. Well, to do that, you need to be able to develop your foraging skills, and there they are. And so, certain skills the ranger is going to excel at compared to other professions. And there we go. Deadly skills. If you want your ranger to be special forces like mine is, they would have some advantages, cheaper cost, for certain deadly skills. Ambush, silent kill, those are important for a special forces person. And then just so that you can see everything else, there's the rest of my skills that I have. There's evaluation, and this also is important for a ranger because there is speed and distance. If you're trying to gauge on how fast the enemy is getting away, you need somebody that can make that evaluation. You cannot, in my opinion, run a crispy game or a game that has prefabricated professions and be able to have that little uniqueness of a profession that knows speed and distance. Good. And then perception. This is a +3 skill for rangers because they need to observe things. Now, they might not be very good at locating a secret door, but when it comes to tracking, they should be really good at it. Alertness, yes. Direction sense, location sense. Bob in his video was saying that the ranger should have this innate skill to know where they're at any and all times. Well, here you got the skills to do this. Surveillance, very important. Smell and taste. Bob wants the rangers to be able to detect the slightest thing, to know what's going on around them. General perception. Then there's reading tracks. And so there's all these important skills that a PC can learn or start learning at level 1. You don't have to wait until level 3 to say, oh my gosh, you now can ambush something. No. And this is why crunchy games will always be better than crispy games. Because with the crunchy game, which does take some time to understand everything, but you are able to do more because it can handle more. Bob, I wish that you would watch this video and respond. I don't think you will. But you are wanting to push your minimalistic views on everything RPG, and I don't think it works. If you want to do more and have characters be able to do more, they need a structure, an RPG system, like a skill-based system, Rolemaster, that can handle all the little odd pieces here and there to run a good game. So, if you want to fix rangers, you first got to understand what a ranger is and then learn how to address the problem. Crunch game system that is skill based like Rolemaster can have your PC learn a large range of skills starting at level 1 And as they go up in level, they become better at it. They will be able to hide from orcs and trolls easier. And they would need magic when they're going up against some big, mean, and ugly creatures that have magical skills. Like a dragon. You cannot expect a human to outrun a flying dragon. They need magic. Okay? So, I think I've ranted on long enough. Please put your comments down below, and everybody, please take care. Be at peace.